Okay, class 12. Today we'll start up chapter 6, social cognition and attitudes. Okay. Now in this, let us see some of the terms which you have to learn in this chapter. First of all, let us try to understand that man is a social animal, and hence social behavior is a necessary part of human life. Okay. Being social means much more than being in the companies of others. Okay. See, social psychology is a branch of psychology which deals with all behavior that takes place in the actual, imagined, or implied presence of others. Okay. For example, children, if you have to perform, you have to give a dance performance in front of the camera and no one is present, then also your behavior is affected, that after I perform, then it will be viewed by some other people, and that is the implied presence of the individuals. And and since if you don't have to record your performance in front of the camera, then you can recite it yourself in an isolated room, then there is no problem. But if the people are watching you, you are on the stage, actual stage, and there you are performing, then the performance is different. It is affected. We will talk about it, whether it is affected in a positive manner or it is affected in a negative manner, later in this chapter. We have different terms for it. As I keep on introducing the chapter to you, I'll talk about those terms also. Okay, so this is what is social psychology. Okay, which will study each and every aspect of our social behavior, whether it's actual or it is imagined or implied. I had given you all the examples just now. In one performance, if it is only in the camera, then it is implied presence. Okay, if it is actual, it is on the stage. Okay, and if it is imagined, then also you can imagine that someone is there with you and you are performing. Clear? So social psychologists examine various forms of social behavior and try to explain uh, their basis. Okay, what is the cause of it? Then children, next thing in this you will be studying about the term which you will be introduced is attitude. See, because of the social influences, okay, whatever thing is affecting you in the presence of others, you form some attitudes about people and about different issues in life. Okay, that is attitude, your way of thinking about things and people. All this is because of social influence. And then there is another term in the chapter which you will be studying, that is your impression formation. That is, when you meet the people, you make some conclusions. Inferences here means conclusions about their personal qualities. Supposingly you are meeting Mr. Y today. You met him for the first time. Clear? Now he has created some impression on your mind that he is an handsome person. Qualities, okay, inner qualities, while interacting you will make out. If he tells you that he is interested in this, then you will make out certain. So here, overt and covert, both the factors play an important role in impression formation. It is the first thing which this will help you. This knowledge of impression formation will be dealing various things, how the factors affect as the chapter proceed. Today I am just explaining you the terms of this chapter. All these terms are new for you. So first impression, we always say, is the last impression, isn't it? So this is going to help you when you will move out after class 12th and face various interviews for job. So the knowledge of this is going to help you how you should carry yourself, how you should present your resume, how you should deal with others when giving your interviews. Okay, so that thing will be taught to you under this. Then children, next is attribution. Attribution, children, refers to the causes we assign. Suppose we had assigned that Mr. X is good in behavior. So now what is that we have seen? What things we have seen that makes him good? Okay, so we assign some causes to the behavior, that is known as attribution. That process is known as attribution. Okay, next children will talk about the other terms. Okay, class 12, we proceed with the chapter 6. Today we'll learn about what is social cognition. Social cognition involves all the things which we had talked about before. Attitude, you know now. Attribution, if you remember the causes which we assign to the behavior of the individual. Attitude is the way of your thinking. Impression formation also I had told you. So now the process through which these cognitive units are activated are called schemas, and social cognitions deal with all kinds of schemas. Now, examples of social influences we will see. In this, I was telling you that I'll be explaining you two terms: social facilitation and social inhibition. Social facilitation is the term given when our performance improves in the presence of others. It happens, children. We'll be talking about social facilitation in detail also. Anyhow, for the timing, I'm telling you, like, if the task is easy and the other persons are present, then it helps us to do it in their presence and also enhance our performance. And social inhibition means that decline is seen in our performance in the presence of other. And pro-social behavior, that is helping behavior. Okay, the people who are pro-social, they help the person in need than the others. Okay, and all these three topics, social facilitation, social inhibition and pro-social behavior, you will be doing in detail. Today I start up with attitude. Yes, students. So now I start up with nature and components of attitude. Before I explain your attitude, I would like to tell you the difference between attitudes and opinions. See, opinion is your simple way of thinking, okay? Others might agree with some point or not, or they might disagree with that point. That will not matter you. If it matters, then you might get emotional. So that is only having thoughts, okay? An opinion consists only of your thoughts. Clear? And whereas attitude has its ABC component, attitude is having ABC. What is ABC of attitudes? Let's understand that. A is the affective component, that is the emotional component. Okay. B is the behavioral component, that is the action component. And C is the cognitive component, that is the thought component. Okay, so now you get the difference. Ki only thought, if only thoughts are there in your, means if you are thinking, only the thought process is there but you are not taking any action, then it's not the attitude, it's only the behavior. Okay, attitude includes all these three components, that is the A, B, C. A, affective, you are attached to it emotionally. B, action, also you take behavioral, B for behavioral, and it means that you take an action if you are hurt. Okay, and C is cognitive component, that is you think about it. Clear? So children, this we'll understand it through an example. Let us understand the attitudes through ABC of attitude through an example. Suppose a group of people are there who are telling about the tree plantation campaign. Okay, so your cognitive component could be green environment is positive, isn't it? You think that green environment is really positive. Along with your, you might also feel along with it that when you see greenery, it makes you feel happy. You might also feel that you feel sad and angry when you see that the trees are being cut. Okay, so this aspect will be emotional. Okay, you are getting angry or you are getting happy, that is your emotional component. Okay, and then behavioral component is you will participate in this campaign, tree plantation campaign example I was giving you. So behavioral component, if your attitude is very strong, if your opinion towards an attitude is very strong, then you will be participating also. Clear? In the campaign, you will be planting one tree each year, whatever is the aim of that campaign accordingly. Okay, so this is what is ABC component. Okay, now I would like to explain other two related terms, that is value and. Okay students, now I'll explain you the two terms related to attitudes. First, beliefs. See, belief refers to cognitive component of the attitudes. Okay, and for example, your belief in God, your belief in democracy. Okay, the ground on which your attitude will stand, that is your belief. Okay, and values are the attitudes or belief that contain a should or ought aspects, that is moral aspect or ethical values. One example could be that one should work hard, that one should always be honest. Okay, as honesty is the best policy. So all this is included in values. Okay class, today we'll start up the features of attitude. Okay, there are 4 significant features of attitude. First is valence, then extremeness, simplicity or complexity, and centrality. So first I will deal with valence. Let me explain you what is valence. See children, valence of an attitude tells us whether an attitude is positive or negative towards the attitude object. Okay, whether due to any object, let it be, say some webinar was taking place on the net and they had made a 5-point scale to know your attitude, ranging from very bad, neutral, good, or very good. Okay, so in this you are rating yourself and you are telling whether your attitude towards that webinar was positive or it was negative. Okay, next is extremeness. Extremeness, children, extremeness of an attitude means how positive or negative an attitude is. Okay, for example, if you have rated 5 on the scale which I was talking about. This will show that you have a, very positive attitude towards something or that webinar which I was talking about. Okay, so extremeness is showing you that. Next is, children, simplicity or complexity of an attitude. This feature refers to how many attitudes are there within the broader attitude. Okay, let me explain you this with an example. Okay, like health and well-being. Okay, this is some topic. In this you have various attitudes towards it, such as concept of physical health will also come, mental health will also come, then happiness will also come. So if you have positive attitude towards health and well-being, you will have positive attitude towards physical health also, mental health also, and your happiness also, so on and so forth. Okay, so it is, this example is showing complexity, complex attitude. Okay, and whereas if it is, now supposing, like your attitude towards your friend, okay, it is the example of simple attitude, means you are having it towards one particular person. Children, so now we'll talk about centrality. This refers to the role of a particular attitude in the attitudinal system. See, children, let us try to understand centrality with an example. For example, in the attitude towards, supposingly you have a strong attitude towards towards world peace. Okay, then your attitude towards military expenditure should be also high, isn't it? So maybe these are present in the center. Peace is the central attitude. Then the other peripheral topics like high military expenditure, then your attitude towards high military expenditure will also be the positive. ये तो नहीं हो सकता कि ओनली यू टॉक अबाउट वर्ल्ड पीस और साथ में मिलिट्री पे कुछ खर्चा ही ना करो. तो इसलिए दिस डिपेंड्स ऑन if that particular attitude will be the core of your attitudinal system, then all the peripheral attitudes, all the peripheral topics you can understand will also have either the positivity or negativity. Okay, students, now we'll study about how attitudes are formed. Okay, see, you form attitudes towards different topics, things, or people when you interact with others. Okay, so we can say that attitudes are learned by experiences and interactions. Now, there are various ways through which you learn the attitudes. Firstly, you learn attitudes by association. For example, if you admire some teacher of a particular subject, then you take a keen interest in that subject. Okay, or for example, if a player has won many matches from one particular bat, then he develops the liking for that bat itself. So this is learning by association. Then learning by being rewarded or punished. In this, for example, children, a child has developed some disease after taking junk food. So in this, he will develop aversion to it, that is negative attitude towards the junk food, and from that very day he will stop taking that junk food because it created difficulty for him. Then learning by modeling. that is by observing others. Okay, just like you see your parents are respecting the elders, so you also learn the same way. This is easy, this you all know how we learn, through observing others. Then learn by group or cultural norms. See, every culture is having certain norms which are not written. These are just passed from generation to generation. For example, get up early in the morning and worship and all this. So that you learn, so that you get the social acceptance. Or you have your own attitude towards these things also. Then learn by exposure to the information. This means that as much information you gain by reading books or biographies of the great men like Mahatma Gandhi ji, or you can say Dhirubhai Ambani, so you get to know various things they had written or they had done in their life, so that you develop attitude towards those things. So children, these were the techniques through which a child learns and forms various attitudes. Okay, class 12, last time we had done how attitudes are formed through various methods which you have done, like association, rewards and punishments, so on and so forth. Today we'll start up what are the factors which influence attitude formation. Okay, first factor is family, then second is school. I'll take up both together because the explanation for both is almost the same and it's very easy also, so you will not find any problem. Okay, so as you know that in the early years of life, both parents and other family members play a significant role in shaping our attitudes. Okay, whatever attitudes our parents have towards democracy or towards any other topic, like towards neighbor also, it could be their positive or negative. So same you also learn for Mrs. Sharma auntie, isn't it? If your mother is liking Sharma auntie, then you also start liking her. Same way, they affect your attitude formation. Then in the school, if you see, school plays an important role in attitude formation. See, you come to school to learn so many things, and beside this you meet so many people, you meet your friends, your teachers. So whatever attitudes they are having, they will also influence your attitude formation. Okay, if your teacher is having, you must be liking some teacher and she is having a very favorable attitude towards environment, so you also try to develop the same. You all know the process, you know how it develops, through observation, through association. Okay, so these 2 points. Then students, we have various reference groups in our society which tells us about which behavior is acceptable and which is not. Okay, so these reference groups also affect our attitude formation. These groups are example like other social groups or religious group, political group. So you develop an attitude either positive towards the Congress or you develop it towards BJP. So all this also influences the attitude formation. These references groups which are there, they could be any club also. Like if you are a member or if your family members are member of some club, so you develop attitude accordingly towards them also. Then your own experiences, the next point is personal experiences. Your own experiences, you might be forming attitude on the basis of your parents. They might be telling you many things. Okay, but when you grow up, like in this age, your adolescence age, It's not that you will accept everything what I speak. It's not that, and you should, children. I don't want ki whatever I am speaking you should accept it blindly. That means you are not using your brain. Okay, somewhere maybe my things are not, you know, you might be knowing more than I know, and somewhere I might be knowing more than, so it is that way out. And then my mindset is different, your mindset is different. Okay, so mindset is only the attitude which you have. So your experiences also affects. Then children, role of media is very important in forming our attitudes. Okay, audio visual media as well as internet today, we play an important role. Then the source characteristics which we'll be dealing with, like for example, if the some particular personality is saying something about a product. For example, if Amitabh Bachchan is speaking something, this we'll have to cover in the other topic also. So like if he is saying that we should use this product, then we start using because we admire him, and so on and so forth. If he is means participating in action movies, and we enjoy that movie and all, and of course these will affect our attitude formation also. Okay class, now we'll study about attitude change. In this, see, attitudes can change. Okay, some change more than the others. Now we have to do various theories in this. Today I'll be doing one theory with you, that is of balance concept. It is given by Heder. Okay, so let me explain you that theory. This theory explains POX triangle. Okay, means it is telling us about the relationship between the three components of the attitudes. If you remember, the three components, yeah, three ABC of attitude. That is, A stands for affective, that is emotional part, and B stands for behavioral part, that is action part, and C stands for cognitive or thought processes. Okay, so in this he is explaining it with a triangle which you can draw in your notebooks and see. Imagine on one end of the triangle you are keeping a person, that is, you can label it as P. Okay, this is the person whose attitude you will be studying. Then O is an other person. O is some other person, maybe your mother, maybe your girlfriend, maybe your boyfriend, whatever you can say. Then X is towards the then at the other end, see, you will make a triangle. I hope you know how to make a triangle POX. Okay, so P, I had explained you who is the person whose attitude is being studied. O is an other person. Okay, and X is the topic. X is the topic of which the attitude is being studied. Okay, now we'll explain you, like, if let us take an example of the attitude which is given in your books only, dowry. Okay, PX relationship. Now we'll study what is the person relationship towards the other person. P starts disliking dowry as a custom. Okay, P is the person whose attitude is being, I again repeat children, I am repeating it again and again. P is the person whose attitude you are studying, and his attitude, for example, let it be negative towards the dowry. Okay, now this X is the person related to P. Okay, maybe he is his close friends, maybe they decided to marry or something. Now this X also develops hatred towards dowry. Clear? So since, and the topic is dowry, X is dowry. Okay, so since P likes likes X, likes O, sorry, since the triangle is not drawn properly with me, na. So if P is liking O, then he also start disliking the dowry. Okay, so attitude changes if all sides of the triangles are negative, or maybe the two sides are positive and one is negative. Like suppose you have a positive attitude towards the topic, okay, and you also, the other person is also having the positive attitude towards the topic, but the topic itself is negative. So like that you can imagine. Okay, right now try to understand this, but when I will be meeting, I'll be drawing this diagram on the board and explain you again POX if it